EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobila. We are back in the state of Pennsylvania getting set to kick off the round here at one of the great golf courses in the world, Oakmont Country Club. Frank, you're very familiar with it because you were right in the mix down the stretch of the 1994 U.S. Open right here at Oakmont.
And Rich, it's so good just to be back here. You know, there's so much history in Oakmont. It's been a host to so many prestigious tournaments in our sport, such as the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship. It's just one of the true gems on the golf landscape.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back nine. Frank, it looks simple enough, this approach shot to the 10th hole, but it can be tricky. Why?
Just the general terrain or slope of this green. Everything slopes from the front right of this green to the back left. So not only do you get huge breaking putts here, but it's so difficult with a long club to keep that second shot on the green.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. Shouldn't be a problem here. That's a birdie to get to 1 under for the tournament. Now to the 11th hole as we pick up with our featured golfer. Frank, nothing spectacular to this point in the first round. What does the player need to do just to kind of generate some momentum?
I actually think they're playing all right, Rich. It's just, you compared to the top of the leaderboard, you start to think, well, maybe they're struggling. But there's ebbs and flows in this game. At the moment, it's just sort of almost like a holding pattern. But it's time to change that.
Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. It might be a tough shot coming up. Just in the first cut of rough, not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. And now we'll have this for birdie. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Wow, I thought he made that.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. solid par to remain 1 under. Well, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont is no cupcake. It measures in at 667 yards.
He's going for a little extra. Whoa, that is long.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot.
Now it's at sneaky distance. Obviously, you can't make them all from that distance, Rich, but you'd like to give it a real good run.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Well, Frank, what about this par 3 13th? Measures 183 yards.
It has a little bit of a crescent-shaped green, but it looks like the green should shape that way, but the actual contours of the green go in the opposite direction. The only good thing about that is chances are you've got an uphill putt.
Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Birdie try up next. This would be a huge momentum swing. This one's for birdie. So close. Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
That's where we start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at the 14th hole at Oakmont Country Club. Frank, it's only 358 yards. How good is the scoring opportunity here?
This is certainly one of the best chances on the back nine here for birdie, that's for sure, Rich. Just a long iron off the tee there, threaded in between bunkers that adorn both sides of this fairway. To set up to what you would say on Oakmont standards is a relatively gentle green.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Seems to like it. Headed for the back part of the green. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Settles in over the putt. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the Wiley golf instructor makes his birdie.
Rich, in that great opportunity, name on top of the leaderboard. It is only round one.
Good place to be. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. Take a look now at the 10th hole, Frank. Par 4, 462 yards.
Yeah, this one can play a lot of different distances. And the reason why is if you can sneak a driver to catch the downslope, it can run all the way down. You can have just a wedge in here. If you're not as fortunate and you leave it hanging up on that hill, it plays a good 200 yards for your second.
He pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. Going to need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
That'll be from about 90 yards away. Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. In for par. Moving on to the 11th hole here at Oakmont, par 4, 379 yards. That was just a beautiful drive and hit it solid and right in the middle. Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
How'd you like that strike?
That was top of the tree.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
In a very aggressive mode with that birdie now in second place.
Well, Frank, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont, it's a lot of golf hole at 667 yards.
It's the hardest par 5 I've ever seen or played that doesn't have water. It starts with that tee shot. The whole fairway slopes left to right. Just to get the ball on the fairway, you've got to draw the ball against the slope. The same problem exists with the second and the third shot. I tell you, there's long and long, and that, with a little bit of breeze behind, it's long.
He rode the wind there to payday. He's going to have a good look coming up. Now the second shot to the par 5. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. He'll need to be strong with this. This is going to be a tough day on the links. I mean, even the seagulls are walking to work. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in. And that par certainly won't hurt the cause.
There's still some time. From a long par 5 to a relatively short par 3. We're at the 13th at Oakmont, 183 yards. Frank?
Another hole because of the shape of this green that you're almost breaking down into 3 sections. That front little circle you can see, the bit in the middle or the bit at the back. You're trying to play to one of those 3 sections. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Still some work to do here at the par 3, Frank.
Yeah, you'd think there with the size of that green, this green would be an easy one to hit, but that's irrelevant now. Let's see if he can get it up and down.
Well, this is the kind of strong wind that will really test a player. And he's made the green. Nothing wrong with that par putt. 14, pretty short par 4 at 358 yards. Frank?
Get the ball in play here, and certainly your best opportunity for birdie on the second 9 so far. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Pretty short shot here into the 14th hole. Good looking shot right here. That will be a great look at birdie. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday. That birdie will help the cause. 2 rounds in the books, Frank, and a good spot from which to make a move.
Yeah, well positioned. Really, you know, if you're leading, it's a different pressure. Being in the chaser pack there, playing well, what a great position to go into with 2 rounds to go.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live third-round coverage of the Pittsburgh Invitational. And now the fifth hole, short but challenging par 4, 382 yards, and it obviously rewards precision off the tee, heavily bunkered along the way.
Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of Mongo.
And it looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through.
So, Frank, a perfect lie right here, and now this gives him a chance to take the next step, which is get after this hole location.
Yeah, so many more options now, and basically it's just going to come down to club selection now. This is absolutely perfect. This is one where he can get a reward from.
Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. And he makes it for par. And now to the par 3 6th here at Oakmont, measuring in at just under 200 yards. Stuck the follow-through right there. This could be really good. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
And he's putting for par now.
No, really, Rich, right now it's just a case of running out of holes. Pars are fine.
And we've come to the par 4 7th. It is 434 yards.
Well, when he goes after it like he is here.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
Good contact, good result. He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Get down. Look out.
It's over. The green.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means.
It's a big green. He's managed to get it smack bang in the middle of it.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Here at the 8th at Oakmont, a famous hole, and Frank, it's not often we say of a par 3 that it is a beast, but the 8th at Oakmont is just that.
Yeah, you can imagine a 300-yard par 3 to a flat green. That would be hard enough. But imagine a 300-yard par 3 at a US Open to a green that goes up at the front and then crowns at the top and then slips away at both sides. That's the 8th hole.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Frankie has to be scratching his head as he reaches for a sand wedge or a gap wedge for his next shot.
Well, you know the FedEx Cup, Rich. I mean, you're meant to get there by 10:30 tomorrow. That thing's still going.
How do you like that? He's holding. Just a phenomenal play right there. Rounding out the front 9 here at Oakmont, Frank, it looks to be straight away, uphill. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, there certainly is. Years gone by, this was a par 5 for the US Opens of yesteryear. Par 5 still for the members. And the reason why is it's a little bit uphill, semi-blind tee shot, bunkers left and right, and of course rough if you miss those. This is one of those holes, even though it's a par 4 now, you miss the fairway here, you are not reaching this green in 2.
Frank, it's always fun at a U.S. Open when you have a shot that could be described as not only tough but quirky, and I think this would fit the bill.
It is, because the green really was built for a par 5, and when you look at the size of it, you can say, well, why would a green that big be built for a par 5? Well, half of it really is unusual because it's a practice putting green, but it has hole locations like just over the bunker on the right that really designed for a par 5. So as a par 4, somehow, if you can thread it through that gap and take 2 putts, this is one of the harder greens to putt on too. This is a stout par 4 to finish the front 9. That was terrible.
Frank, how good was that just to get it on the green?
Well, from that shot there, you would have thought for sure that there was no chance he had of finding the green. That was some shot.
Settles in over the putt. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable
Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's the final round of the Pittsburgh Invitational. It is one of the most difficult golf courses in the United States. Oakmont Country Club outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, who was a part of that dramatic U.S. Open in 1994 at Oakmont, ultimately won by Ernie Els. Frank, when you think of Oakmont, what comes to mind?
The difficulty of the golf course, Rich. I know a lot's changed over the last 20 or so years. A lot of the trees have been removed. But really, that wasn't the story of Oakmont. It's the slick greens, how firm and fast they can be. The members there, for example, they marvel at the fact that people think they're fast. They say we putt on these greens every single day, and they're certainly no slower. But it's the bunkering as well. There's 210 bunkers here. They're all in play. And it just has that history. When you step on Oakmont, you just know you are walking on not one of the great courses in North America, but one of the great courses in golf. That is burning through the atmosphere. Look at that thing. It's got a tail on it.
That's like a rocket ship. That one was launched by NASA. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round.
Given the situation, Rich, things so tight at the top. Very, very good birdie.
That was huge right there. Still with a great chance to come away with this title.
beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin.
Got to be careful here. Downhill, he's got to time it good because your weight's a little bit more on your front foot.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
Chance for back-to-back.
I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace, it's hard to be critical of that.
And getting ready for the putt. So, hanging in down the stretch with a par. Yet another demanding hole here at Oakmont. The par 3 16th, 231-yard par 3. Frank calls for a well-struck long iron.
It certainly does. It's going to favor something that's hit a little higher and a little softer. If you could just mentally cut this green in half and just sort of look at the left half of this green, that's really the best way to play this hole. And the reason why is the general contours all move to the right. That ball can still funnel down to the right side of the green.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. That is a solid par putt. 17th hole at Oakmont, par 4. Only 313 yards, and yet, Frank, it was so pivotal. The last U.S. Open played here in 2007.
It was pivotal for a lot of different reasons. Strategy being one. Some elected to go down the right side with just a mid-iron. Others went directly at the green, did not get the ball up and down. Furyk and Tiger Woods come to mind in that situation. You can see the green's just perched up there. If you do lay it up, you don't quite get a full look at this green because you have to lay it up down that right side.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
It's a big putt right here for birdie.
And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
This is where so many of the legends, from Hogan to Nicklaus to Miller to Els, made their imprint. And don't forget about Angel Cabrera, the last time the U.S. Open was played here. The 18th hole, the clubhouse straight ahead. What a view, and what a moment in the championship.
Beautiful looking shot right here.
Oh, that's fine.
Frank, when you look at great rivalries in sports, you realize that athletes need each other. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to achieve greatness, to achieve legendary status. And in golf, Tom Watson needed Jack Nicklaus to push him to another level.
And also to define an era. Without one, we couldn't think of the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s. You need those players to define that era. So you need competition. Competition is not without rivalry.
This could be a good one. Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Can't make them all. That one gets away. Got it for par. Just a tremendous week of golf, and that, my friend, is a winner right there.
Yeah, and he should be proud of himself, too. It took golf of the highest quality to beat this high-quality field, and that is something that you will remember for a long, long time.